Caves have been excavated in the area surrounding the city of Nottingham, which is located in England, for the past 1,700 years. More than 500 have been discovered, and now there is a new effort that is deciphering their meanings. Nottingham is a city that hides a world of caves and tunnels beneath its retail establishments, residential neighborhoods, shopping centers, and public watering holes. In addition to being home to more than 500 man-made caves, Nottingham is perhaps best known to tourists for the Robin Hood legends that are associated with the surrounding Sherwood Forest. They describe a story that spans hundreds of years, beginning with medieval monks and ending with King Henry VIII, and were uncovered by digging through layers of soft sandstone. And to give people access to this underground environment, a new app has been developed that provides information on dozens of caverns, including their history, as well as access information, images, 360-degree panorama shots, and 3D fly-through films. The name Tidwell Cobach, which derives from Welsh and Anglo-Saxon and means the location of caves, was given to this region in the 9th century, which is when the labyrinth that lies underneath Nottingham was first mentioned. The town got its name from a wandering monk who came across a local population that was living inside the caverns, and he gave the name to the town. Even 1,200 years later, this moniker would still be appropriate given that some of the tunnels are buried beneath establishments that are shockingly up to date. Below the Broadmarsh shopping mall is where you'll find the City of Caves, which is Nottingham's most extensive network of caves that are open to the public. The earliest parts of the City of Caves, which are comprised of a complex network of tanneries, air raid tunnels, and slum housing, date back to the 4th century. The caverns have an average temperature of 16 degrees Celsius throughout the year. The original residents delved into the soft sandstone to create a warm and comfortable place to sleep. By the 15th century, people were no longer living underground. Rather, the caverns had taken on a second life as cesspits. These cesspits were used for fertilizing the city's farms and for supplying the tanneries with waste for the process of manufacturing leather. It's possible that the tannery in the City of Caves, which is the only subterranean tannery in the entire country, helped save Nottingham through one of the most difficult times in its history. It is thought that the tannery caverns prevented rats from nesting and breeding within the area, which resulted in the town being one of the few sites in Britain that did not fall victim to the plague. The ability of the caves to save lives did not end with the outbreak of the plague. During World War II, Nottingham was subjected to the heavy bombing because it was a major producer of ammunition. Because of their exceptional capacity to dampen the effects of bombing raids, 86 of the caves were outfitted as bomb shelters. The sandstone caverns helped save the lives of hundreds upon thousands of people. Some caves and passages were used for activities that were even more sinister. For instance, the iconic Mortimer's Hole may be found beneath Nottingham Castle, which was initially constructed in 1067 but has seen numerous transformations since then. The creepy passageway consists of 300 steps and weaves its way down through the rock from the castle to England's oldest inn, Ye Olde Journey to Jerusalem, which was established in 1189. Sir Roger Mortimer, who along with Queen Isabella is said to have murdered Isabella's husband King Edward II, and stolen the throne for themselves, is honored with the naming of this passageway. On the evening of October 19, 1330, the young King Edward III and a group of devoted followers of his entered the tunnel. They stormed into the bedroom of his mother, Isabella, and seized the two of them. Sir Roger was executed by hanging in the Tower of London, while Isabella received a punishment that was somewhat less severe and was instead sentenced to retirement. Yet, underground caverns can be found in great many more ordinary buildings than just Nottingham Castle. I would argue that 9 times out of 10, if you were the manager of a pub in the city, you would have caverns. Tom Flynn, manager of the Bell Inn, one of Nottingham's oldest pubs, noted that they can be found virtually anywhere in the city. According to evidence found in tree rings, the first public house on the site was likely constructed by local Carmelite monks in the year 1420. The cave system underneath the Bell Inn is large enough to stretch under the buildings that are adjacent to it. Inside this cave system are 2 wells that the monks used to draw water from to brew their beers. The Bell Inn remained in the possession of the monks until 1539 when King Henry VIII ordered the dissolution of the monasteries. From that year, it was converted into a regular alehouse. A portion of the cave's brickwork was constructed by the Ministry of Defense during World War II with the intention that it could be used as a bomb bunker. However, this plan was scrapped when it was discovered that a river ran along the cave's rear wall. In modern times, the Bell's Caves have been transformed into a fully functional cellar that is filled with beer and wine and features cascade pipes that lead up to the bar. The caves beneath the Ye Olde Salutation Inn, which was established in 1425, are far eerier than those beneath the Bell, which give off an air of being well lit and inhabited. The cave system of the Salutation is comprised of rock, cut passages, cells, chambers, and chimneys. These features were all excavated at different times during the medieval, Georgian, and Victorian eras. There is even a ghost, and her name is Rosie. She was a young girl. In one of the recesses with the least light, guests are kind enough to leave her drinks, marbles, and dolls. The manager of the establishment, Terry Webster, was quoted as saying, "I'm a skeptic where ghosts are concerned, but I've seen things in this pub that truly do make me wonder." Webster claimed that he was heading downstairs to the pub at 6:21 morning when he heard footsteps and a cough coming from the direction of the basement. He went down to the bar in the hopes that the crew from the previous night had failed to lock up, but when he arrived there no one was present. He concluded that the burglar must have sneaked in. An examination of the surveillance footage from the bar also produced no results. The Nottingham Caves app, which is the product of ongoing research and development by Trent and Amp Peak Archaeology, brings together all of this long history of the caves beneath the city, ghosts, and all. According to the project manager, Dr. Paul Johnson, just 76 of the approximately 500 caverns that are known to exist in Nottingham have been thoroughly explored and documented. Because several of the caverns turned out to be more complicated than the team had anticipated, they were unable to record as many of them as they had previously wanted to. You're not simply doing a structural record. Johnson mentioned that when you record things like graffiti on the walls, particular components of sculpture, and other such things, you are doing so. So, the amount of time necessary to complete it rapidly accumulates. Despite this, the crew was able to uncover traces of places such as gentlemen's clubs, bowling lanes, summer gardens, and industrial locations while conducting the survey. According to Johnson, preparations are already being made to proceed with mapping and recording the caves with the assistance of local volunteers. After receiving training in confined spaces and fundamental recording techniques, the volunteers will then go out into the field to chat with property owners, locate new caves, and, when it is safe to do so, enter the caves to conduct a speedy survey. They have high hopes that construction will get underway in the first half of 2016. In the end, the goal is to make more of Nottingham's underground accessible to tourists, which will enable a greater number of people to enjoy the distinct history that can be discovered underneath the city. What do you think about this video? Do let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.